Okay, I think we live. I haven't received any comments yet. I believe we live. Hello, everyone. If you can see us live, please do send us a message. I don't actually have my phone near me, so I can't really tell. And the sun's decided to come out straight away. Anyways, good evening, guys. We thought we'll come and join you and give you a very quick update on where things are with immigration. I'm being joined, thank you, Rina Raj. I'm being joined by Zinnia, my colleague and a senior immigration advisor, also the operations manager at Ames Global, just to have a very quick chat with you guys today. Now, this wasn't really a scheduled Facebook Live. This is something that we've decided to do last minute because of the kind of inquiries that we've been receiving over the last few days of lockdown. We thought we'll bring in some urgent questions that have been coming to us and just have a very quick chat with you guys and just give you an update. Zania, can you just give us a very quick update on one, whether immigration is operating at right now? Second, what kind of applications they're processing at the moment?
Okay, so we had an update from immigration come through today, just a couple of hours ago. So here's the summary of that update. That immigration offices are closed in line with the alert level 4 restrictions, but the staff are working remotely, which includes immigration officers. They are processing applications from home, but these only include online applications and they also include border applications, which means that paper based applications are not being processed. This is because immigration's drop boxes are closed and the staff there, they cannot open the couriers, and so any couriers that they have received so far will remain at the depot. Some of the most common paper applications would be residence from work, VOCs, variation of conditions, and the essential skills where people are keeping the same job under the rules released in July. So what I'll do now, and obviously, Arunima, we've received a lot of questions. People are very anxious getting, especially those that are going to file these type of applications. If you just want to have a chat about that.
Yeah, I think the first and foremost thing that I want to talk about is people that 19th of July announcements came out, and people that were on essential skills or were going to go on essential skills and were in the same job, same employer, and were meeting the streamlined criteria could apply for essential skills without the labor market check. And those applications could only be applied via paper because the online system is not developed to support the non-labor market ability in an essential skills. And that was going to be paper-based applications till the end of August. Obviously, because of the lockdown, none of the applications can go in. Couriers are not working. None of those applications can be submitted because paper applications can't work. You can't get the forms together. You can't go to employers to. So as a result, we have been talking to immigration to try and figure out what we can do. If you guys are in this cohort, I would strongly suggest that you have a chat with us to see how we can help you with, what other things we can do for you. Um, it's funny that I say that as well because the email that came out today from immigration has a special mention of Section 61 request can be put in through the email address. So maybe immigration is expecting that there will be people that will become unlawful during this period because they're not prepared. I always say that it's better to avoid than to cure a problem. So if you are in that area, you're like, well, I don't know how to apply for my paper application. Please have a chat with us. We do offer a complimentary consultation, so we're not charging you to speak to you initially, and then we can hopefully give you some guidance. I also do want to flag very clearly here that essential skills visas, your normal essential skills visas, if you hadn't already noticed, are taking an awfully long time right now. um, the employer escalation queue is not working that well either. So there is about, you know, there's about a 2 month delay in those essential skills applications. So there is a delay. So please do plan properly. If you do think that you might go on an interim visa, which means that you can't work, then apply sooner than later because processing for essential skills is taking a long time. We're only doing this for a good 15 minutes. So if you do have really pressing questions, ask us. This is probably the shortest one that we've done. As you can imagine, working from home with kids, it is, we've had a pretty full on week as well. So, but we did want to come out to you guys. I see there's some questions building up, Zinnia. We'll let them build up. Zinnia, do you want to talk very quickly about, there's quite a few inquiries that we've received. What about partners? I know there's a question about split families. Can you just talk about partners that may be wanting to get married or have partners overseas? What's the situation for split families?
So these are two different things. One is a split family where they're already married, and the other scenario is where they are going to get married. So if the question is about split families where they are already married, the situation remains as it was a month ago. The government hasn't changed anything on that front. So it's just one of those things that with split families, there are rules that were allowed, but they're only for certain types of partners of New Zealand citizens and residents. I mean, those that have met the living together condition. And then there are those for partners of temporary work visa holders, and there's special rules for that. And they don't cross over. So it is like, it's a very situation dependent type question. So it's not really, it's just too many things to go through in this one go. But in terms of, if somebody's asking if we've got an update on split families, we wouldn't, because nothing's been announced.
And just talk about, Zinnia, talk about the partners as well, please. I think this just leads into that conversation.
For those
So
that
anybody that are wanting to go, there's a lot of people that we've heard from.
Yeah.
Just talk about that as well, please.
That are wanting to go to, for example, India to get married, the culturally arranged marriage option is the pathway is still open. We can still submit applications through that. And what that does is that you've got 3 months after you get married, according to the cultural norms. You must get married according to cultural norms. And then you've got 3 months to file that pathway. And we've actually done quite a few applications through this as well.
Thank you. I can see that there's a few questions coming. Paulita, I can see your question. What about loading up paper applications so they can work at home? Yes, a really good question and a really good suggestion, but the system doesn't allow you to just upload an application as it is. There's different forms and there's different online segments for different categories. So at this stage, there's no option for this. I do want to tell people we have flagged this. I mean, obviously the lockdown's been really sudden, so nobody's had time to prepare. So we have flagged this to immigration about situations where it was meant to be paper, people can't apply online, what happens to them? There is no one answer that we've got, but within our organization we've come up with possible solutions where we know are not the most normal pathway to start, but where we can lead to the right destination. So it sounds like it doesn't sound straight, but I would just suggest that you have conversations with us so we can possibly offer some kind of solutions. Yeah. I also do want to talk about auto extensions. I know there's a lot of questions that have come through whether there have been auto extensions. There's been no announcement yet. We are hopeful and keeping our fingers crossed that those people that may be affected may have auto extensions, but nothing has come through yet. Obviously, you can understand that there's a lot to go through for the government and for immigration at the moment, but we are expecting that if the lockdown does get extended, that we will be hearing more in the next week. I do want to touch also on skilled migrant category. So SMC is still suspended. We know that currently non-priority applications that were with immigration are being processed from early November 2019. So that's where they've moved. It's been a very, very slow movement. Nevertheless, a little bit of movement. And I also do want to talk about, for those of you that were on the immigration website, there was a little blip moment when they had updated the online calculator, where the online calculator showed, some new criteria around occupational registration and a few other things that weren't there previously. That's been removed. This goes back to, if you go back to my Facebook comments previously, and some others have said it as well, we know for a fact that the SMC criteria is being revised. So why this happened, whether they were just trying to test it or whether it just happened accidentally, somebody decided to press live when it shouldn't be, we don't know. It's still closed at this stage, but we do know for a fact that the SMC criteria is being revised as we talk. Zinnia, do we want to just, is there anything else you want to add, or
No,
should we take some?
there's just some questions that are some good questions building up that I think
Please,
we can.
Yep.
So we've got this question from Rikus.
Yeah.
I'm not that.
Kruger. Yeah. Rikus Kruger.
Of conditions on July 26th, and my last day is today with my old company, and I need to start next week. Monday with a new company, but I can't because I haven't received my visa yet. So no pay until that comes back. Will there be a possible solution for me? I would say possibly, because you submitted it on 26th July, which was like roughly a month ago. So the chances are the courier was received, it was unpacked, it was put into the system. So the paper application could have been added into the system by this time, because the lockdown only happened on Tuesday. So it could have, we
Yeah.
can't have to check. And then yeah, then we can possibly look at, then there might be options. If it's gone online, then there possibly are options from there on.
Yeah, for escalation. So possibly maybe find out where the application is at. Has it been loaded into the system yet or no? Um,
Then
Polita, I think you've got the build question. What about loading a paper application so they can work on them? It's unfair. Totally agree. And then you've got a follow question saying, I applied in November 2020. It's very frustrating. Thanks for answering my
for
question.
a work visa in November 2020.
Yeah, I don't think it would be a work visa, Polita, but you can clarify. But I will take the feedback wholeheartedly. Thank you for your comments. I do need some encouraging comments after an absolutely shattering week. When is the point system changing? God knows. It was meant to happen long ago. We're still waiting for it. Hasn't come out yet. When something does come out, we will let you guys know. Is there any chance that processing time can be faster for online applications? Zinnia, do you want to take this one?
I would say no, because the online applications that were done prior to Tuesday, prior to lockdown, and now, if anything, immigration becomes slower during lockdown. They don't tend to become faster during lockdown. Historically, is what we've seen, but I don't think there's going to be change in processing time due to lockdown. If there's a change in processing time, that would be because there's more immigration officers to work, and there's more. They have better training, but I don't think there's any change for a while.
Yeah. Well, in the normal world, in the normal world, you would expect most of the business that immigration gets in the temporary space to be online. Variations are due to move online as well, but that hasn't really changed anything. The 19th of July changes have led to a spike in essential skills applications, which is where the delay is. Okay. How about offline for PR visa? Offline application for PR visa. I don't know what that means.
For residence applications, is that what they mean?
Yeah, paper applications. I don't know how you're going to get into immigration at this stage because everything's closed. You can't get a courier out. It's all a touch and go situation. I think the key message that I wanted to give out to you guys, because I can see some questions building up. Um, yeah, there's a lot that I can't quickly answer here in the 2 minutes that we've got. But the two key messages that we wanted to give you guys today was one, that immigration officers are operating, which is such a relief. So, the last few lockdowns have the officers are equipped. Anything that's online that is moving, so that's a relief that there is business continuity there, and we're not again in limbo. The second thing that I wanted to let you guys know is that the auto extension questions that we've been getting hasn't come out yet. It's a space to watch, so we will let you guys know. And then the last thing, very important, is that we are absolutely business as usual. If anything, so many lockdowns have taught us that working from home is actually not that bad. So we can work around this. In fact, we've been talking to clients that have been essential workers and have made calls just in their break time on a Zoom video. So there's more accessibility. So yeah, so I think that's sort of the key. We will try and come back to these questions individually. I don't know if it'll happen this side of today, but we will come back to these questions. Zinnia, anything that you quickly want to add? We still have
Um,
a couple of minutes.
I think my main thing that I want to say, if we were to wrap it up, is just when there's uncertainty, advice really helps. So go seek professional advice rather than just shooting in the dark and panicking, because usually there's always options available.
Mhm.
Um, you know, you can always find, we've like in the past few lockdowns, I mean, we've been so creative to find so many different ways to make sure our clients didn't become unlawful, and if they did, we could get them out of that. Like, it's just, yeah. So
Yeah.
that's probably it. Just go get some advice.
Yeah. And I think we just had a team meeting prior to this. And one of the things we were talking about in our team meeting is that sometimes the lens that we as advisors, and, there's other practitioners who do this as well, go to try and do things for clients that clients don't understand, including making sure that we lugging off just before the lockdown, all the couriers that need to be lodged to someone's house so they can be picked up the next morning as urgent couriers. I can just very quickly, I've still got another minute. Rikus, so if your application is in the system, then that means that it can be escalated. I know that you may not meet the employer escalation unless your employer needs you to start straight away. I would suggest that you have a chat with us because there may be ways to shake it. Again, I do want to give the disclaimer that the employer escalation queue is jammed. Immigration, the bar has gone really high. Immigration's not taking any escalation requests. But if there's anything that can be done, I think you should try and do it at this stage because, yeah, I understand your situation.
Okay.
Yeah. If irons are open, will there be less processing time for SMC? There's some really optimistic people out there. I love it on a Friday afternoon.
It's a
Yeah,
great
nah.
way to start our
Nah.
first weekend.
There are going to be priority queues. That's what they've said based on the salary and based on occupational registration. Again, all of that in limbo. Guys, thank you so much for joining us. I know this was last minute. We will put our contact details. Rikus, if you can see the little ticker that's going in, pick any mode of communication and get in touch with us, and we will respond to you definitely by Monday. Have a good weekend, guys. Stay safe. We will try and do more of these as we collect systemic questions that come to us and common questions so we can come back to you with some answers. But if you um, if you have questions and can't reach us directly through Facebook, there's numbers at the bottom, there's email address, there's WhatsApp, there's website, there's contact forms on the website, so there's many ways to get in touch with us. All right, Zinnia, and your dogs haven't barked yet, so there you go.
Yep.
All right, so you can
They'll
now
go.
take them for a walk. Have a good Friday, guys. Have a good weekend. Stay safe.